What's up, friends? Welcome to the number 2 pod. I'm Glenn.
I'm Simi.
And this episode is gonna be spooky.
Cute.
Welcome back to the pod. As always, thank you for subscribing, liking, and leaving comments. We love the comments.
Yes, we do.
Anyway, our next topic on the pod is very controversial. So you'll have to let us know in the comments. But when do you think it's too early to start celebrating Christmas? Because it's basically Christmas and it's not even Halloween.
I think you should give Halloween its moment. Unless you really hate Halloween, but we have started it before, right after Halloween.
We have not put up one Halloween decoration.
No, not this year.
It's like mortifying. I mean, we never have visitors, but it's nice. I bought spooky candles from Target.
And we go over sister's house and there's some decorations over there.
Oh yeah, there are.
Yeah.
So they're celebrating. I don't know. I've just never been a Halloween person. I'm into it, but I'm not into it. You know, I used to live in the city and it was just like parties. And it's like you'd never have a good costume.
I like Halloween. It's just I don't ever know what to be for Halloween. The only thing I've been for the past couple years is The Last Airbender, Aang. Put the little
That's a good costume for you.
The little arrow on my head.
What do you think the number one costume is going to be this year?
Ray gun.
I don't know. I feel like that's gone.
It's still so funny to me every time I see it, though.
It's not iconic enough. I feel like it's going to be, what was big this year? Were there any trends this year? Just Chipotle robbing us all? How could you turn that into a costume?
Yeah, you could do it.
I feel like hydration was big this year. Like I've never had more liquid IVs.
Oh, liquid IV. I would
in
definitely
my
do
life.
liquid IV.
It's like that should be
Halloween.
my costume for the year.
Specifically lemon lime.
Sugar-free. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Where I work, they do a Halloween thing basically, and like none of the costumes have really been, I don't know, I feel like people are over costumes. I don't know what it is. It's kind of sad. They're not feeling as creative. Do you know what it is actually? You know how they have Comic-Con here? Bless you. Bless you, Boogaloo. They do in California, they always do Comic-Con. They just had the big Disney convention. There's a ton of horror conventions here. So I feel like because people dress up for that, then when it comes to Halloween, they're like, that's amateur night.
Remember there was that one year where everybody dressed up as Wanda? I think maybe people will dress up as
Agatha Harkness. Yeah, that's a good costume. She's so good. Or the other witches.
What would you be if you could be something for Halloween?
If I could do anything this year, I would do the costumes I always love the most are ones from older movies, and you are not the main character. You're like random, like tertiary characters or whatever. So like I have a friend, shout out Julie Grisham. She did one year in college, she was in Hocus Pocus, the original, not the remake. The guy that plays the devil, what's that guy's name? His wife, she's that famous actress who's married to, I think, the director of the movie. She has like the New York voice or whatever.
She really passed away, yeah.
I know, it's so sad. She was her. Remember when they go into the house and she's in like the curlers and the bathrobe? Like that's a creative costume.
Yeah.
And she was holding the popcorn bucket. Like that's a beloved character, easily recognizable. And it's not the most popular thing. It's like you didn't walk into Spirit Halloween and buy Cookie Monster, So I think for me, like I would love to do one day, I don't know how I do it, but like Apollo 13 is one of my favorite movies. But it's like you can't be Tom Hanks. What do you wear, a spacesuit? It's not recognizable. You can't be the lunar module. What are my other favorite movies? Like I love Father of the Bride. That's one of my favorite. Ever After.
What's a cartoon that you like? What's your favorite cartoon?
I'm not into
Disney
cartoons. I don't know. I mean, I like all the Disney animated movies, but there's none where I was like you can't be Wall-E. I don't have a robot
Or
costume.
you could be like in Wall-E, like the fat lazy person in the...
Yeah, that's a good costume. That would take some creativity.
What is it?
And like the floating chairs or whatever.
But what are they called?
Oh, ECV.
What's the thing that people go in now? Like
ECV.
No, but like the security guards.
Scooter?
They're like scooters, but they're
Moped? Oh, it's called Segway.
Segway, there we go.
That's funny. That's a good idea.
No, a segue into our next.
Yeah. Anyway, let us know what you're going to be for Halloween. Your time is up, so make sure you figure it out, or else there will be no consequences. Pro tip, though, there's this thing called the Costco Business Center. Most people, if you ask around the house, the neighborhood, the local.
By the way, there's
community,
a lot of people who do not know about the business.
That's what I was going to say. They have no idea.
Yes.
People don't know. You go, do you have a Costco membership? Yeah. Have you heard of the Business Center? What's that? It's insane. It's literally insane. There's one in Vegas. I looked it up when I was visiting my family. And then obviously there's one here.
It's kind of off-putting because it's like Why is it so different? Because you can still use your same.
You can buy an entire cow, an entire lamb. They have a bucket for $75 and it's like 7,000 Snickers. It's like you could never eat that many Snickers.
You can fill up your vending machines, basically.
I think it's like to fill up your vending machines. A lot of people have vending machines, apparently.
Very popular here in LA.
I mean, it's good for like cases of different beverages. Some people buy so many cigarettes. It's like boxes and boxes. And you're like, I've never seen that many. So it's like, this is where the cigarettes are growing, like the cigarette farm.
So they
got them locked up like they're batteries. Like it's insane. Or like it's a Mac computer. I'm like, it's just a piece of paper and like dirt.
Yeah. But there are these churro bites.
Oh my gosh. Churro bites. Nobody knows where they come from. It's got to be a bakery. It's not heaven. It's above heaven. It's heaven management where they distribute and make these.
It's evil.
You can't get them everywhere. Not at the regular Costco. They're sold out. If you can find the churro bites at Costco, I mean, there's nothing there. I've never tasted anything so delicious. Never. And I eat donuts constantly. Why are they so good? We brought them over to our niece's house and we were just like gonna, give her one. And it was like,
it's not Carly's house anymore. It's our niece's house.
It's our niece's house. She lives there. And then she has some providers and protection. And really our nephew is the real owner of the house. He's the real boss.
He's the overseer.
We tried to babysit this week. We were successful, but they have this kid that like, he's so chill. Like we put on Cars. I tried to show them the Muppets and then they were into it, but somebody wasn't into it. So he was like, put on Cars. I'm like, oh my God. Fine. And I'm not really into the Cars movies. Like they're good, but it's just
after your time. That's why.
After my time.
There's no nostalgia for you.
I don't like that they like look like toys, like, how like the headlights don't move. It like looks like a sticker. It's like weird. I don't know. It's the animation. The story's really good. Very meaningful, whatever. Anyway, so this kid, this baby,
our nephew,
is just watching the movie. Like he is literally watching it like it's The Godfather. Like he watched the whole thing. And then our niece, she could care less. She just looked at Toe Mater and she goes, he has big teeth. And then she was like playing with dinosaurs. It was like, are you a Universal Studios girl and not a Disney girl? No, she likes Disney, but it's like, I was scared there for a minute. You know what I mean? Like, you got to raise your kids right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what if she is a Universal? Because she's growing up in California. Like, there's Universal girlies. They're into Hello Kitty and like the Munsters or whatever, or like whatever those things are. E.T. Even though there's no E.T. ride. Universal Studios, if you want to make money, ditch the Fast and the Furious roller coaster and bring back E.T. Like, what is wrong with the decision makers over at Universal? Like, don't you know we pay for nostalgia? We don't want a Jurassic Park ride where it's terrifying and we get wet. We want a Jurassic Park ride where we're like in the restaurant. You know what I mean?
The soundtrack playing in the background.
And it's like, it needs to be cinematic. We don't want to be scared and like gyrated. You know what I mean? It's like Transformers. Do you know how in love I was with the first Transformers movie? Like obsessed. Yeah. Such a good movie. And then when I lived in Chicago, they were filming like, I don't know, the 10th movie or whatever. And I was so excited because they were filming all over the city and they'd do like the fake rubble down Michigan Avenue. And I went to go watch the production. I had a friend that lived in a building so we could see it. And the Transformers aren't real. It's literally a giant stick with a red ball on top. And then Shia LaBeouf's like staring at it like, okay, Bumblebee. Like, you're like, they don't even have the transform. They have the cars that drive, but they don't transform. So if you're a Transformers fan, it's a lie. Like, and I knew there was some CGI, you know what I mean? Like, duh. Because they're like flying in space and stuff.
But no real build outs.
There's no build out. It's a stick and a ball. You know what I mean? Like you're being lied to. So I get why the ride sucks because, they had no inspiration. You know what I mean? Like it's just so annoying. Anyway, so my niece can be a Universal girly if Universal starts to make better decisions. Like what's their newest ride right now? Secret Life of Pets, like, which is a cute movie. But the ride, have you guys been on the ride? You are strapped in there. We went on it together. Do you remember?
Yeah.
You are strapped in there. Well, they don't even want you to pet the pets, jump out and pet the pets. At Disney on Haunted Mansion, that bar, you could get out and get back in. It's moving so slow. You could sit at that haunted table and nobody would ever know. But at Universal, you're like, it's not fun. I don't know. Anyway, my niece is not a Universal girly. Oh my God, what if she is? I don't like it. What do you think your niece is?
We love you.
No, your
However,
niece, however, whatever your choice is,
we support you.
you were born that way. We support you in all of your endeavor. What she's like, I'm actually a Six Flags girly, like, or Knott's Berry Farm. Madison's Disney. Your niece is Disney through and through. We recently saw his niece at Disney, and oh my God,
she's in love with Jack.
she gets it. Like, she gets it.
Both Jacks.
Yeah, she is a child that gets it and is fearless. Like, you know how some kids are like super shy?
She's shy.
No, she's not.
But not with the characters.
Shy.
Not
No,
with the
no.
characters.
Yeah. She interacts. She knows what's going on. She's smart about it. She knows how to play her parents, like first treats. And she's like, oh, I'm tired. And they're like, oh, here's this. And she's like,
Or this.
Or this. What's that, milk?
Well, yes, that is milk. But it's just like, cracker, give me something.
Yeah. They need to be stimulated. She's smart. She's gonna be a smart.
But they don't want to
one.
make her an iPad kid.
Whatever.
Which I get.
Yeah, we are all iPad kids. Like, that debate is tired. It's like they're gonna be staring at screens their whole lives. That's what a job is. You know what I mean? Like, if you want your kid to go out play outside, let them go play outside. But when they're in an environment that sucks, give them an iPad.
Yeah.
Suspend their disbelief. Interior delusion. Do you know what I think should be turned into a ride?
What?
How about you go first? And I'll tell you my idea so I don't get made fun of. If you could think of any movie that like shouldn't be turned into a ride, what would it be?
A movie that shouldn't, but
That like, well, it's never going to happen because it's like not a movie that would ever be a ride. Okay, I'll go first.
okay, go.
It's a Whoopi Goldberg movie. Maybe you can guess
Sister
it.
Act 2.
Oh my God, that would make a good ride. That's not the movie I'm thinking of. Can you imagine the Sister Act 2 ride? It's like,
Come on,
maybe it's like Rise of the Resistance vehicle, and you like lower the final scene, you like lower, and it's like all of these animatronics, and then it's like the Whoopi's glitter animatronic flips around, and she's like, I need you to sing. Like, wait, what is her monologue in that movie? It's so good. She's like, I'm not a liner, I was a headliner. Like, if you wanna be somebody,
if you think you're a singer, then you are a singer.
if you wake up in the morning and you're an actor, you're an actor. Oh my God, yeah. And it would be like in the dark, basically. You'd be like going through a tunnel or something, and they'd be doing the Whoopi monologue, and then you'd like lower into the choir performance, and then it would turn and you're like in the performance with this like virtual audience. You could do the Cosm screen. I mean, can you imagine the money they would make? It's like Sister Act, the ride. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine Kathy Najimini would come back and reprise her role, and they'd make an animatronic of her, and then the skinny one that can sing, and then the guy with the high-pitched voice. Can you imagine the money they would make?
But what was the one that you were thinking
anyway,
about?
Whoopi Goldberg has a lot of movies that could be turned into rides now that I think about it. But I'm really, really, really into the movie Ghost.
Oh God, why did I know you were going to say that?
And they turned it into a musical a few years ago. Shout out Cassie Levy, amazing actress. If you don't know who she is, bruh, the voice. But it's like Ghost, it would be a spooky ride. It is love. You know what I mean? Like Demi Moore, the haircut. Isn't that Demi Moore in that movie? Demi Moore, like the haircut. Think of the haircut merchandise you could sell. You know what I mean? Like, it would be insane. And then Patrick Swayze, like, is nostalgia. And he also, well, he's dead, but he represents so many good things that you're never going to have a PR issue. And that, I think, is the issue with making rides now, because if you feature an actor that's living, like, you know, like a Chris Pratt situation, it becomes controversial, because then they go and they like join Scientology or whatever. And then it's like a PR disaster, but he's already dead. You know what I mean? And he's like stands for inclusion and happiness, and his family would approve. They'd want the money. I mean, can you imagine? Like, I don't know what the ride would be. You know what I mean? Like Oda Mae's like mystery love tour or whatever.
For sure.
It couldn't be a roller coaster, but maybe it could. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying it'll never happen, but like put it in the comments
I feel like
below.
A roller coaster is a roller coaster. You can turn any movie into a roller coaster.
You can turn any movie into a roller coaster. Like,
make it make sense.
I think Ghost is such a good movie that I hope they never remake it. Oh God, now they're going to remake it because I put it out there. It's going to be like Shailene Woodley and like,
oh no,
Timothy Chalamet, and you're going to be like, this doesn't make sense. They would never have sex. Like, it doesn't. She would be fine. Like, if he died, like, she'd move on. She'd go with the corrupt business partner. Like,
she'd go with the MAGA football player.
Yeah. Insane. Okay, so you have to pick a movie.
Only thing that's coming to mind right now is Tu Wong Fu.
Oh my God. I mean, it would be such a good movie. I mean, it would be such a good ride. But what would it be?
I mean, that's the whole movie's just a roller coaster anyway.
Yeah. Maybe it could be like
But it would be basically the Cars ride.
It would have to be the Radiator Springs Racers ride.
Except you'd be going into the town with all the strawberries.
The lines. Can you imagine the fast passes they could sell? I mean, I really feel like it's true. It's like Disney's trying to like appeal to the kids, I think, but it's a mistake. You know what I mean? The kids are going to ride what the parents tell them to ride. So it's like we really need a ride for adults, and they think it needs to be a thrill ride, but it doesn't, because adults don't like thrill rides. You know what I mean? Like they like it once.
We do. You don't.
I mean, I'll ride Tower of Terror once, you know what I mean? But then it's like, you're not going to do it over and over and over again. But if it's like a Tu Wong Fu, or like, can you imagine? I'm just going to say it. If the Birdcage was a ride, I mean, can you imagine the Robin Williams animatronic? You would, and think about how many drag queens you would employ, because they'd have to do like CGI filming for the robots and stuff.
Speaking of Robin Williams, do they have an Aladdin ride at all?
No.
They just never made. It's one of the most.
No, there's the Magic Carpets of Agrabah, which is like a spinner in Florida. They've had a lot of like theater shows, obviously.
Interesting.
But there's never been
missed opportunity.
It's a missed opportunity, because I think because it portrays, it's like a weird story, you know, like where's the action moment, I guess, for the ride? And then obviously like
the carpet,
cultural appropriation, because it's like a story set in a place, you know what I mean? It's not
all
very
of Disney is
authentic.
cultural appropriation.
Yeah, but they're doing better. You know, we do better, know better, do better, whatever. So they'd have to bring it into the reality of like what that world is, you know, today, and then fictitiously in the past. And I think it's just too much work. And then it's like, how do you ride a magic carpet? You know what I mean? Like, is it a vehicle with 4 seats? Like, is it, because that's kind of like the action moment, you know what I mean? And then that's about love. So it's like, but they just opened in Tokyo Disney a Tangled ride, and it's really short. It's a boat ride, and it's basically just about the love scene. You know, you like float through the floating lantern room. Maybe they could figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that go on in the video game. Just pick one of those.
The video game. I mean, that's a great idea, because they've been trying to gamify like the new Star Wars ride at Disneyland and Disney World. They're like, it's a real-time game engine. And it's like, okay, this is like a Game Boy game. Like, it's not very good. But if they took the animated stuff that already is a video, I mean, if they found out how to do like, ding, like, you know, when they like jump. No comment. Anyway, let us know what you guys think down below in the comments. We're big theme park fans. Surprisingly, we're not big horror theme park fans, though.
As in what?
Like, we don't go to Horror Nights. We don't go to Not Scary Farm. We don't
Those
bash.
super scary. I mean, just anxiety induced, which like is annoying to me. But I just saw recently, I forget what park, whether it's Knott's or I think it is Knott's Berry Farm, where they have necklaces that.
Oh, I saw that.
You can't scare the person if you're wearing this necklace.
Yeah, it's Knott's Berry Farm.
Which is genius, because it's like you want to go and you don't want to like exclude people, especially if they're like scared or they have anxiety about that. They could just buy but I think the necklace is like $25 or something.
You gotta pay for your freedom.
It's like $27, and you have to like basically you have that necklace and they're not allowed to scare you.
Genius. She's a genius. Love it. Anyways, thank you for joining us for this podcast.
We love you.
I just had a decline in cognitive performance.
This is what I have all the time. Thank you for watching the Number 2 podcast.
We appreciate each and every one of you. If you want to support us, share this video or share this episode with a friend. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.